It's a little dark, but if you have a question or a comment and you would like to wave your hand, then we will call on you because this is your talk and I want it to be awesome.
I represent the Dupaki Center, and the principal role of the center is to try to encourage young people in particular to engage in public service. So do you see yourself as a spokesperson for a public service ethos? What part of what you do in your public speaking would you consider to be a public service?
Yeah, thank you, David. So I have had a lot of different careers. In fact, my first book, Reinventing You, is actually specifically about how to make career changes, and it was inspired by some of my experiences early on. I worked first as a political journalist, then I worked as a spokesperson on a number of political campaigns, then I ran an environmental nonprofit. All of those things are professional paths that you might look at. They're not public service in the sense of elective office, but they're all things that I think are squarely within the realm of trying in some way to quite directly improve society. For the past 10 years, I've had a different career. I started my own business, and as part of that, I do a variety of things. I do marketing, strategy, and consulting. I write business books. I teach at universities. I give speeches like this. I have just started in the past year doing an online course. And I think for those activities, those are ones that perhaps on the surface you might look at and say, well, they're not nonprofit. You're making money from that. That is a business activity. So therefore, is that public service? And I have two thoughts about that and about how it might potentially relate to other people. The first is I think that it's important to recognize that I would argue that public service needs to be a strand that flows through all of our lives. I don't actually think it's appropriate for a certain small class of people to be public servants and then everyone else goes on about their business. If we want to be citizens, I think it's important for all of us to be thinking about ways to be of service. And that doesn't mean that we have to do it in every facet of our lives at all times, but it means that with different career choices that we make or at different times of our life, things might be appropriate. But it's something for the masses, not just for the select few. I think the second thought that I would want to share about that is that I would argue that in many ways the work that I'm doing now, the business work that I'm doing now, I'm probably having more of an impact on social change than I have in some of the other work that I've done. I mean, I loved working in politics, and it's certainly a noble cause, but tragically my candidates all kept losing. So ultimately, I guess you get the ideas out there with the campaign, but I was never in a position, sadly, to actually affect them in office. But I've developed a reasonably large platform as a business author and spokesperson. And as a result, the message that I am trying to get across is one that I hope will be an empowering message for people, that people can understand better the strategies to employ to get their best ideas and talents known and recognized. And I actually think it would be fundamentally transformative if more people were able to get their true talents seen in the world. If we have a world like that, where people's skills and abilities are recognized and unleashed, we would be able to accomplish so many good things. And I view myself as in some ways a facilitator of that. And so it's not public service in, I certainly don't want to be claiming to do the things that a fireman is doing necessarily. I'm certainly not, off risking my life for things. But I do believe that even in a business career, that you can be able to have a message of social change embedded in what you're doing. Thank you.